Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears are coming off a bye, and they will be traveling to Washington to take on the Commanders. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Week 8 game between the Chicago Bears and Washington Commanders and provide our predictions at the end. Before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for these Week 8 prediction videos that we're doing. And we've been able to hit that goal over the past several weeks. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win this game and why. So, Ryan, I was really looking forward to being like, we've got the matchup between the number 1 and number 2 overall pick from this year's draft. But Jayden Daniels left the game with a rib injury. Marcus Mariota came in. The team didn't miss a beat, which is good overall for the Commanders. But I will say, curious on what's going to be going on with Jayden Daniels throughout this week here. That's absolutely going to be the key X factor to kind of to monitor within this game, because I think Mariota's got a really neat story, but there's a difference between him and Jayden Daniels and their overall offensive performance this year. Yeah. And on the flip side, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears coming off a bye. We last saw them in London where they beat the Jags pretty handedly. And they're starting to make those strides, starting to make those steps forward in the right direction as well, offensively and defensively, which I'll get to here in a second. I think they have been in form for the longest time. They're one of the better defenses in the league. Want to throw it over you here and kind of what's your overall take on both these two teams going into this Week 8 matchup?
Yeah, so Chicago, I think, kind of struggled early in the season. They came out, were making too many turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. The defense was kind of picking things up for them. And so I think it's going to be interesting to watch as this team kind of continues to develop, because they're still kind of finding their identity. I think we saw a glimpse of what they want to be in Jacksonville, of kind of this very explosive offense that Caleb Williams can get the ball out to all of these weapons. And then they're going to play tough defense. And it's going to be fun to watch this team evolve and kind of go to the Commanders. They were this high-flying spread offense, like threw the ball outside the numbers a ton, got Jayden Daniels in space and really took advantage of that matchup. However, this defense up to this point hadn't been that great. They'd kind of just been outpacing everybody that they've played. And so –
except for today.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they played – even as a Patriots fan, and I'm very critical of the Patriots, the Carolina Panthers are probably the worst team in football.
Yeah.
And so I really think that, like, the Commanders, they figure things out on offense. They just need to let Dan Quinn get the right personnel in on defense. But this is still a really fun Washington team to watch, and they're very good at home. Right now, it's the Bears are 0-2 on the road, and the Commanders are 3-0 at home. So that's a big advantage, I guess, for the Commanders. But as you said, to kind of start it all off, it all comes down to if Jayden Daniels is going to play. Because if Jayden Daniels is not in, then there probably won't be much of a game.
Yeah. So, I don't want to say that. I disagree with that, because even to Mariota, he had a fairly solid game today. Let me pull up where the stats here. But it's Mariota, he has some of the traits. Obviously, he's nowhere near as explosive as a runner or as a thrower, but he's like I don't know, Jayden Daniels light. Like, he's a perfect backup. He's the veteran backup that you want to do is going to fit this offensive system here. He's obviously not able to sling it or run like Jayden Daniels, so I'm not trying to say that at all. But I don't think there's too much of an overall change in the overall offensive philosophy. As well, maybe there's kind of less gunslinging and maybe more high percentage throws just coming from Mariota. But in general, though, they're still going to be able to do RPOs, still going to be able to run the ball effectively. And I think even too, as fun as it is to see Jayden Daniels like run around and throw the ball or go and do a lot of the kind of just crazy acrobatic Lamar Jackson-esque plays. Yeah. If we go look at today's game, they ran for 214 yards. Another game, they have 4 games of 214, 215, 216, 215 rushing yards. So, like, that 215 rushing yard is their sweet spot.
That's their threshold for
that's their they can't run for any more outside of that. But if I go look at today's game, though, like Brian Robinson Jr. had 12 carries for 71 yards. Daniels did have 3 for 50. One of those was a 46-yard run. Jeremy McNichols had 7 for 42. Austin Eckler had a couple for 17 yards. And once again, actually, too, on top of this, Mariota had 11 for 34. So with Mariota in there, they don't really lose that running capabilities, it seems. Now, it is a big asterisk because it's the Panthers. But
Yeah.
that is still, I think, their kind of bread and butter and how a lot of the offense runs through first. If they're able to run the ball, it's going to open everything up. It's going to open up the rest of the playbook. And that's what's going to be interesting, too, going up against this Bears team, because this Bears defense is top notch. They are 7th in yards allowed, 7th in passing yards allowed, and 11th in rushing yards allowed. And so I think there's a kind of an outlier game in there with the rushing yards allowed. Yeah, they gave up 150 to Indianapolis. That kind of an outlier, but they have a pretty stout defense as well. And so that's just going to be the overall matchup, I think, even if Jayden Daniels plays, is how well does this Bears team be able to stop the run against Washington? Because really, the only team that's been able to stop Washington from running the ball was Baltimore. And I think Baltimore's front seven is maybe up there as one of the better ones in the league, but I've always thought Chicago's front seven is really good as well. So if they're able to have that same kind of performance and turn the Washington team into maybe a little bit more one-dimensional throwing the ball, I do like their chances, whether it's Jayden Daniels or if it is Marcus Mariota. Obviously, if it's Marcus Mariota, but even to Jayden Daniels, still a rookie quarterback, make him have to go through his progressions, have to throw against one of the better secondaries in the league as well. So that's what I think is going to be interesting. But I think here, obviously, we need to monitor to see if Jayden Daniels is able to go and play. Because with a rib injury with the quarterback, that's pretty serious. So I will say this, going into the predictions here, if Jayden Daniels doesn't play, I'll probably go I'll go with Chicago. But I'm also kind of thinking as well, I think I might go with Chicago anyways, actually, on the road. Just because I do believe Caleb Williams and this team is starting to click a little bit. They've started to run the ball a little bit better. Their offensive line has been pushing better. And this defense is top 10 in the league. So it definitely Jayden Daniels doesn't play, then I'm going to go with Chicago. But I think I'm going to go with Chicago anyways, actually, on this one.
I'm going with Chicago, too. I will, kind of like you, I will rethink my decision if Jayden Daniels is going to go. But they have that top 10 defense. Then the Commanders' offense, I don't want to say I trust it more than the Commanders, but this Bears offense looked really good. And granted, Jacksonville's defense is not good. But last time we saw this Bears offense, they looked really good. It was just a really tough start to the year for them, and they've really started to click. I don't know who on the Commander side is going to cover any of these receivers. And then Jonathan Allen is out as well. And so I think they're going to be able to run the ball, not with ease because they still have Daron Payne, but it's just going to be easier for them to run the ball. I just like the Bears matchup here specifically.
So they do have Mike Sandstro. They have Benjamin St. Juice. Jeremy Chin has come over from Carolina as well. There's a couple of good guys. I think the biggest thing to me is going to be how does this defensive line keep on improving. They lost Jonathan Allen last week. Jersey Newton came in, and he's the one starting in that spot. They have Daron Payne also there, so that's going to be clogging up the middle. Chicago, they're going to want to have to run the ball effectively, and they've started to do that a little bit more over the past 3 games, which 131, 128, 152 yards rushing in the past 3 games, compared to the first 3 games, which was nowhere near the 100-yard mark at all in rushing. So if they're able to establish that run and they're able to go and get another 120 rushing yards as well, that's going to take a lot of burden off of Caleb Williams, and his connection with DJ Moore has improved. And then you still have the veteran Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze is also improving as well. So I guess I see what you're saying. I guess to your point a little bit, how are they going to cover all 3 of those guys? Also, don't forget about Cole Kmet as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that this Dan Quinn Washington Commanders defense is significantly improved over last year, and they keep on improving. But to your point, though, the sum of everything, though, if the Bears are able to establish the run, how are then they going to be able to stop the pass as well? Because then that's going to open up the play action. But if they're able to stop the run with just four down linemen and whatnot, and the Bears can't run the ball there and they get one-dimensional, while dropping 7, 8 guys back, that's when the Bears are going to have some serious problems.
Yeah, and that's I think that is less likely than the Bears defense being able to slow down this Commanders offense, and maybe force a turnover here or there, or get some favorable field position and kind of play that game. So I'm going to go with the Bears also. If Jayden Daniels does play, I may rethink my decision, but we'll see here. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It's the best way to help out the channel. While you're at it, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let us know who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Chicago Bears? Will it be the Washington Commanders? And that we'll see you guys next time.